let's break it down today. Come check some prices with me. This is one of my favorite supermarkets. There's so many choices here, and the prices are great when items go on sale. For example, all these breads and baking products are 10 yuan each. Here are some fruits. A box of kiwis is 10 yuan. A box of strawberries is 30 yuan. And here are some mangoes. This one is 8.9 yuan per 500 gram. And here is the vegetable section, 10 yuan for 3 packs. Carrots are 7.9 yuan per pack. These are organic vegetables. As you can see, the price is also low. Right now, $1 is about 7.3 Chinese yuan. And all the prices listed here is the final price. Here is the meat section. These ribs are 14.3 yuan per pack. And some cheaper cuts are only 6 yuan. And some eggs, 10 yuan per box. All these prepackaged steamed food are just 10 yuan each. Here is 1 yuan section, noodles and snacks. Cooking oil, 10 yuan per bottle. Here are more snacks. These cookies and nuts are all 10 yuan per pack. There are just so many and I cannot show all the prices in one video. I would say grocery shopping is affordable. For one person, a month could cost around 400 to 800 yuan. Now let's check some prices in the restaurants. Eating out can be really cheap. A simple meal from a local restaurant costs 10 to 30 yuan. And even at a mid-range restaurant, it's 50 to 100 yuan per person. Public transport is super cheap too. Metro rides are 2 to 8 yuan depending on how far you go, and a monthly metro car is 200 yuan. Buses cost 2 yuan, and Didi, the Chinese Uber, start at 8 yuan. So if you don't pay rent, I would say the living cost can start from 1,500 yuan per person per month. For the rent, it starts from 700 yuan per month depending on where and what kind of place you want to stay. So if you rent, it will be higher, but overall, Guangzhou is very affordable compared to many major cities. Let me know if you have any more.
When I live here, I still live in the under middle class living standard. I'm living a very simple life here. I don't even have a car. I also barely go out. I don't need a car. So every month, the money I need to pay is electricity, gas, water, and HOA, and internet. My internet is $10 per month. Electricity, gas, water, altogether $10 is enough. My HOA fee is $25 per month. No mortgage, no tax. That is all the money I have to pay every single month. About the price of the grocery, I'm going to walk through the grocery market. You can see the price there, and the price is half kilogram, 500G. In China, we have 900 cities. My city name is Fushun. My city has 1.7 million population. And there is a bigger city, has 10 million population. It's about a 1 hour drive from my city. Even that bigger city, our daily cost is not much different. China is very big, a little bit bigger than United States. But the electricity, gas, water, and gasoline, all this price is same in China, no matter which city you are in. My city is one of the poorest city in China. And for those upper middle class Americans, if you want to compare the life standard, you need to compare with upper middle class in China or middle class in China. Please don't compare with our under middle class Chinese people. And some Americans says that in China people make $500 per month. If you want to compare with $500 per month income Chinese people, you need to use your homeless people to compare with them. Those people are poorest considered in China. In my city, average income is like $900 per month, which is 6,300 yuan. And here I'm walking inside the grocery market along the street. All the stuff you can see here is all affordable for our under middle class Chinese people. All these individual small business owners, they don't pay tax at all. In China, majority of Chinese, we barely pay any tax, especially for us under middle class income people. Look, all these individual small business owners, not only they don't pay tax, their sales also not calculated into China's GDP. And in China, we have so many individual small business owners. In every single city, every neighborhood, you can find this kind of small business owner grocery market. Like I said, China GDP is very solid. It's not a big bubble like United States. So many things we don't even calculate into GDP in China. Also in small city in China, we all own our own homes. Each family owns 2 or 3 homes. That's a very common thing in small cities. And even the young people working in Beijing or Shanghai, they don't have their own home in Beijing or Shanghai. They definitely have their own home in their hometown. I was working in Beijing in my 20s. I cannot buy a home in Beijing, too expensive for me, but it's so easy for me to buy a home in my hometown. When your daily cost is so cheap, you have your own home, no need to pay mortgage, no tax. It's very easy for you to save money every single month. In China, average people can save 50% of the income. $5,000, you can buy a home in my city. Of course, it's gonna be an old building, but it can still be a decent home. Much better compared to sleep on the street. China is socialism, and China definitely don't want anyone to be homeless. Because since history, when you have many homeless, your society is not stable. Or if you make your people's life living so difficult, so stressful, it's terrible for the society. One day they will get enough and throw over your regime. Like in China history, so many times, those people who got oppressed by the government overthrow the government. So China has learned that lesson, taking care of our own people. So the society is safe and stable for our people to live in. No one need to steal. This bowl of noodle is 10 yuan, less than $1.5. You see, I'm not kidding with you. If I cook by myself every month, I only need $150 to cover everything. My internet $10 per month, including the phone bills, is the highest price in my neighborhood. You can get $5 ones. And HOA fee covers garbage, sewage, elevator maintenance, public area cleaning and maintenance. It's about 1 hour to compare their sales. Also in small city in China, we all own our own homes. Very easy for you to save money every single month. In China, average people can save 50% of the income. $5,000, you can buy a home in my city. Of course, it's gonna be an old building, but it can still be a decent home. Much better compared to sleep on the street. China is socialism, and China definitely don't want anyone to be homeless. Because since history, when you have many homeless, your society is not stable. Or if you make your people's life living so difficult, so stressful, it's terrible for the society. One day they will get enough and throw over your regime. Like in China history, so many times, those people who got oppressed by the government overthrow the government. So China has learned that lesson, taking care of our own people. So the society is safe and stable for our people to live in. No one need to steal. This bowl of noodle is 10 yuan, less than $1.5. You see, I'm not kidding with you. If I cook by myself every month, I only need $150 to cover everything. My internet $10 per month, including the phone bills, is the highest price in my neighborhood. You can get $5 ones. And HOA fee covers garbage, sewage, elevator maintenance, public area cleaning and maintenance. Okay, now you see how affordable to live in China it is. Eggplant, mushroom, meat, eggs, the tomato. You call that low quality food. What is high quality food? Processed food like McDonald's? In China, we have so many different cuisines. You can spend your whole lifetime, every single meal you have a different cuisines. You cannot finish the whole cuisine in China. That's how many different cuisines and food we have in China. And in China, you can see all the Chinese people, we don't have oversized. Our body shape looks very normal because we eat healthy food. How can you call that low quality food? I'm so confused. What is high quality food? Tell me, please. For under middle class, don't tell me you're super rich and you eat super fancy stuff. Just for under middle class, can you have that kind of fresh food in your country for under middle class people?
So I'm an American that lives in China, and let me tell you, being in China is definitely a life hack, because what do you mean this hotel is only $40 a night? Let me show you around. Alright, so this is the entrance area when you first come in, and normally you have a sink area as well that's external to the bathroom. The bathroom is super nice. Cool little, toilet and everything. Literally everything you need. Look at this shower. Literally, you know how much wood I had to pay in America if we want a shower like this? Like dark accent shower, 2 shower heads, full soaps, and everything that you need. But this is pretty much what you can expect whenever you get a hotel here in China. Like, you get 2 beds, all for $40 now. Big TV. The TV is literally huge, and you even get a desk area. You guys can say hey to my fiance. He's like watching stuff, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and take a look at this view. Take a look at the view. The view is like, there's a lot of construction going on over here, but, this is great for only $40. So yeah, if you're thinking about coming to China to visit or live or whatever, you should definitely consider it, because it's literally a life hack. You're literally cutting off 50 to 60% of the cost of living, literally. But yeah, I just want to share that with you guys real quick. But yeah, living in China is definitely a life hack.
An incredible experience. At the very top of the list is the kindest, nicest people I've ever met in my life. They don't have an agenda.
Yeah.
They truly want to help you. They are truly committed to senior citizens.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of treatment in the United States. When you get to be a senior citizen in the United States, more often than not, you're not regarded at all. You're just sort of swept away, believe it or not.
Living in China, I've been here for 15 years. And he's talking about, I guess in the video he's saying about like poverty and how people talk about the average living cost in China. One thing I will say, and I don't care, I would 100,000% of the time in 2025 choose to be poor in China before I would ever be poor in America. Y'all take with that what you will. I feel like I've been all over China. No, this is a big ass country. I haven't been every single place, but I've been to the villages over the years. I've been to the first tier, second tier, third tier cities. I've been to the rural areas. I've been on farms. I've done all that stuff. I'm like, I'm like, they really not struggling as bad as the people in the States. It's just a different kind of struggle. Like, does every Chinese person live in the lap of luxury? Absolutely not. Be for real. I want Americans to put this into perspective. America has roughly, we'll just do for the sake of argument, 400 million people. I think it's less than. I think it's about 300 something million, right? China, 1.4 billion. Let's just argue that America has 400 million. That means China has 1 billion more people. And I really would say in 2025, because whenever people want to talk crap
about China, it's always some metric from like 30, 40, 50 years ago. I'm talking about 2025 reality. I don't think the poorest person in China is struggling like the poorest person in America. I will die on that hill, because at the end of the day, no matter how poor you are in China, in 2025, you got food in your belly and you got a roof over your head. You can go to the doctor. The government gives you what's called deval, like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna give you, at least at the bare minimum, the government is going to make sure you can at least sustain a life, your life survival. Your basic survival needs are met. Period. And I want to also say, you know, I'll be just talking mess. When it comes, like, because people always want to come at China from left and right, but I'm over here to be like, let me school y'all. So, when it comes to poverty, right, I feel like poverty in China is completely different from poverty in America, because poverty in America means like food desert, it means violence, it means inaccessibility to things. Now, is China perfect? No. We live on Earth. Earth is gonna be Earth, obviously. But I'm like, they gotta figure it out for 1 billion more people than the United States has. 1 billion more. And I can say this, and hey, I could be wrong, but I'm just talking about my own observations as someone who lives here and has been living here and plans to remain here, is like when you see, because like, oh, there's beggars, China has beggars. I'm like, girl, begging in China is a racket. It's totally a racket, because like they know that there's these like global stereotypes, so foreign people may come here and think that Chinese people are super poor, but even the beggar, he might have his QR code and you might put a little something in there as a foreign person, but at the end of the day, that beggar go home. Once he done begging, he like, okay, I'm done begging, baby, I'm going home. In America, the beggars ain't got nowhere to go. They sleeping under the bridge, they sleeping in the car. The best of the beggars in America are sleeping in their car if they have one, if they're so lucky. In China, you don't have to worry about crime. Like, don't sit over here and think about things as absolutes. Like, is there net zero crime in China? Obviously not. Like use that thing that is in your head, your brain. Use it. Okay, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. But like in China, I don't think the poorest person is really struggling like the poorest person in America is. I don't believe that. I could be wrong. You might find a case where there's a poor person that's like really like down and out. But at the same time, the society is built differently, because even that down and out person in China, ain't gotta worry about getting their stuff stolen and shot up, and it's just a different struggle. Like, I feel like I would 100% choose to be impoverished in 2025 China than in 2025 America. And that'll do it. There's nothing more I can say. Watch this man's video. My best friend in my head. I don't know him, but like I want to know him, because I feel like he and I would have some good conversation.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about this air conditioning and heating. Yes, we do. Let me show you. In my city, our heating is under the floor. So in the winter, when you put your feet on the floor, it's like warm. The whole floor, every room, like here, every part is warm. And this heating costs me 3,000 yuan every winter. And the winter is about 4 months. And 3,000 yuan is about $420 per year for that 4 months in the winter. And you can see in my living room, I don't have air conditioner, because in my hometown, the summer is very short. The only maybe 1 or 2 weeks very hot. It's like $2 probably.
World was becoming a small village. I remember being told.
So this video literally is showing you life in China, how it's affordable, how literally the government of China is taking care of her citizens. China has over 1 billion people population, and it's one of the largest, actually it's the #1 largest population in the world. Take that in your mind, keep that in your mind. Now the government of China is making sure whether you are from the highest, that is the upper class, that is the rich, or the poor class where you are very, very poor and you're earning less money than anybody else in the country, they're making sure you're able to access the government, your human rights, that is education, health, housing, food. You are able to access it whether you're rich or poor. That's basically what this video is showing you. And we're having American citizens who are literally telling you they prefer being poor in China as compared to America. They say the poor who live in China live a better life as compared to America. America has how many? It has around 400 million population, as compared to China, which has over 1 billion population, and it keeps growing every year. That is the reality. Now, what has China learned throughout the history? China has over 5,000 year history, and what they have learned over that period is when the poor are oppressed, when the poor feel oppressed, when the poor suffer, usually they're the ones who topple the government, usually are the ones who overthrow the government. If you look at all the revolutions that have happened across the world, whether it's the French Revolution, whether it's the British Revolution, if you look at all that, what you realize is there's the common pattern. When the poor are oppressed, when they're miserable and they're crying, usually they're the ones who cause uprising in each and every kingdom or government that has been overthrown. That is the reality. So the Chinese government has learned that, and they have learned that lesson, and they have literally taken that history they have learned over the years, and now they're applying it right now as we speak. If you go to China, according to this video, people who are living there, they're telling you whether you are rich or poor, they have access to the normal services that as a citizen of China you're supposed to have. The living standard of the people who live in the countryside, people who live in the poorest cities, is affordable. You can be able to access food, you can be able to access health insurance, you can be able to access education, you can be able to access each and every requirement that a Chinese citizen is needed. So people, when they talk of China, a lot of people usually talk about China that was 50 years ago. They talk about China that was 60 years ago. They talk about China which was 30 years ago. What they're not understanding is China has literally developed at a faster rate that beyond our wildest imagination. 60 years ago, China was a very, very poor country. But fast forward 40 years down the line, fast forward to 2025, right now, China is, if it's not the world #1 country right now, leading the way in terms of development, in terms of innovation, in terms of living standard, in terms of, you look at the types of city they're having, and you're looking at yourself and you're wondering, wow, does that city really exist? And all that thanks to social media right now. When you look at China and you see the types of development, innovation that are happening, it usually leaves your mind, and you're wondering, okay, what's happening here? Are we literally living in the same timeline? So people have gone to China. People are literally going to China in droves right now because they are interested, to stay in China. They're interested to interact with Chinese people. They're interested to learn the Chinese culture. They're interested to learn the Chinese language. They're interested literally to integrate with China because right now, China is the way to go. And that is the reality. A lot of Western medias have tried to change the tune, but thanks to social media, all you need to do is just go on TikTok. All you need to go is to go on Red Note. All you need to do is just go on Chinese webpage, and you see the reality of what people are talking about. And if you don't believe Chinese people, go and see what Americans are saying about China, who are living in China. They are recording themselves on social media. So one thing I'll say kudos to Chinese government is they have 5,000 year history, and they have learned over that period that when you take care of your people, when you take care of your people needs, the people will also love, thrive, and also embrace the government. And that is what's happening in China. Let me know what you think about this video and drop your comments. I'd love to hear from you.